Bianca's talking about the rising numbers as a result of the Delta variant. Well, the UK is currently recording more cases per day than the entire European Union combined. It's reported 27,000 positive tests, and it's actually almost near the disastrous second wave after Christmas. The difference, of course, as we were saying, the vaccination drive that keeps the death rate low. More than half the country is now vaccinated. Unions are still concerned about losing the mask mandate on public transport. Adam Finn is with me, member of the UK's Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation, joins me from Portugal. So this is the turning point in a sense. The UK is giving us a very strong indication of what it will be like for the rest of us, in that you live with these positive numbers, but it doesn't cause death and destruction.
Well, that's right, if it comes off. I mean, this is a calculated risk, I guess. As you said just now, the cases are rising rapidly. People are also being immunized rapidly. So the immunity in the population is going up for both of those two reasons. But the number of cases is doubling every 10 days. And with that, we are seeing an increasing number of people getting seriously ill and ending up in hospital, and some of them dying. So it's really just a question of at what point do those two things cancel out and we see the wave peak and then begin to come down. And does that happen before we get into such big trouble that we end up having to lock down again?
You say lock down again, but it's almost inconceivable. The Prime Minister himself said it's almost inconceivable that the UK would offer or would put forward any form of lockdown now.
Well, it's inconceivable if the calculations work out the way that they are looking. So the models have predicted these different trends, but it does depend on certain things that are uncertain. We are not certain about how people will behave when the being careful becomes optional rather than a rule, and we're not certain how well people will continue to come forward and get immunized. So there is a gamble here.
So, Professor, what's your fear here? Because I know we've obviously got the aspect of the children or youngsters who have not been vaccinated, but we do know that the breakthrough for double vaccinated, or at least double shots, is very small. So I'm bearing in mind that the vulnerable have predominantly been vaccinated. Where's your worry?
Well, I guess it's all fine for the people, the 19 out of 20 people who are vaccinated and fully protected, but it's not such good news for the 1 in 20 in whom the vaccine fails. So for those people who end up in hospital and who end up dying, it's a bad outcome. And it's really just a question of how many of those people there end up being before we know for sure that we're...
So just to forgive me interrupting, but I want to just take you down that road. Bearing in mind what you've said, do you think it is the right thing to do that the Prime Minister has announced, which is effectively de facto bring it all to an end on stage 4 in the middle of July?
Well, it will turn out to be the right thing if his sums add up, and if there is a peak which doesn't coincide with too many hospitalizations, the NHS doesn't get overwhelmed, and we get through it and out the other side, and everyone will congratulate him. It won't be so good if it goes off further than is predicted, and we end up with a bigger problem.
Right, but as a member on the Committee on Vaccinations, etc., would you have taken that decision in that? Would you have come to the same decision? For instance, lifting the mask mandate and making it discretionary. The Prime Minister gave several examples of when he would continue to wear a mask. But would you keep the mask mandate?
Well, it doesn't fall to me to advise on that. I advise on the use of the vaccines, and so far the government's followed our advice with regard to the vaccines to the letter. The advice around mask mandates and distancing fall to other committees. Personally, I hope at least that people will continue to be cautious because I'm concerned about the exponential rise in cases. But I hope that things work out the way that the modelers are predicting and that everything turns out to be okay.
You see, that's really the issue now, isn't it? Particularly with sort of the interconnectedness, which is what we've learned very, very much to our cost in all different countries. It's whether or not the risk is worth taking at any particular point, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always better in the long run to be cautious and perhaps criticized for having been too careful than for being undercautious and then resulting in a lot of chaos, which is what happened at the beginning of the pandemic. Not only the UK, but all countries, I think, responded to this much more slowly than they afterwards wished they had. So this time around, it's the same story. We have to try and hope that we're not overreacting and not underreacting, but getting it about right. And there's a lot of uncertainty around that.
Good to see you, Professor. Thank you. I appreciate your time. Thank you.